Hi, my name is Emily Crow from Crochet Creations, and I would like to welcome you today to my newest video. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my Make 9 list for 2022. If you've never heard of a Make 9 list before, basically you pick 9 items that you want to make in the next year. Kind of like a goal to set for yourself. And this can be anything from things that you've really wanted to make for a while, something that's recently caught your eye that you're obsessed with. It can be something comfortable, something that you know that you'll enjoy and get a lot of use out of, or it can be something that stretches you and teaches you and expands your skills. I am a crocheter and a knitter by trade, and so I wanted to make a Make 9 list of 9 different items I wanted to make with yarn this next year. If you're new here, I'm so glad that you are stopping by, and if you have been here before, then welcome back. I'm so happy to have you. As I said, my name is Emily, and I am the maker behind Crochet Creations. I am a crochet designer and a maker, a knitter. I have a blog. I enjoy all things crafty. I am also a mom to Georgia, who is 1 year old, and I have a kitty named Alfred that you may see in some of my videos. And my husband and our family, we all live in the South Bay area of California for a job assignment for my husband at the time being. So that's kind of a little bit about us and what we're doing. In these videos, I like to share here on my channel different tutorials, day in the life vlogs, studio vlogs. I am a work-at-home mom with a small business, and so that's something that I like to share here. I have a knitting and crochet podcast that I like to share what I'm working on. So if any of that is something you're interested in, then I would love to have you. Definitely make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you are notified of a new video when I post. I have lots of exciting videos coming out for the end of 2021 and looking into the beginning of 2022. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I figured I would start by explaining my list and kind of what I did to decide what to put on the list. There are so many things that I would like to make. And I'll show you. I've got like a huge list of different things that I was interested in making, and I had to decide and whittle down what I wanted to put on this list. So I actually decided to do multiple Make 9 lists, and so I'll share with you my top Make 9 list, and I will also share with you some honorable mentions of things that it is likely I will still make in 2022, but they won't be a priority. And then I'll also come out with other videos about some other goals of mine, and I'll have Make 9 lists for those other goals as well. So that'll be interesting to see. I definitely want to work through my stash, so I'll have goals for that. And then I would love to make some gift knits, especially for my daughter. So I'll have a Make 9 list for that as well. And hopefully some crochet projects as well. My Make 9 list for 2022 is 100% knitting, which is kind of embarrassing. I've been crocheting since I was 9 years old, and I only learned to knit this past year. It's not even a year yet now that I've knit, but I am infatuated with knitting. It is so fun. I'm learning so much, and it is so cool to see what my hands can do. After crocheting for so long, I have just got the knitting bug, and so I don't really want to crochet right now. I still have occasional projects going on, like at least one at a time, but not nearly as much as the knitting I have going on. And knitting is just what's been inspiring me lately, and that's totally okay. But I do want to share some crochet projects that I love and that I really do want to make sometime soon. So I'll be talking more about crochet projects in my honorable mentions, as well as in some other Make 9 lists that I will come out with in future videos coming up in the next couple weeks. So be on the lookout for that. I'm over here so that I can put up pictures right here to show you these patterns that I'm interested in making. And I'll tell you a little bit about what caught my eye with the pattern, why I want to make it, if I have any yarn in particular I'm thinking of using. So I'll tell you all about that, and I will also have everything linked in the description that I mentioned. So make sure to check things out there. I will try not to post any Ravelry links if I can help it, though there are some designers who only have their patterns available on Ravelry, and so that is the case in some instances, but most of the patterns I have tried to include a non-Ravelry link to make it more accessible for others. So If you do use Ravelry, however, I have put a bundle on my Ravelry profile under my favorites of all my Make 9s, so that you can take a look there to see like a more visual all in one spot if you would like. And this list is not in any particular order, so I'm just going to start at the top of my list and go down. But like I said, it's not in any order favorite or like organized in any way, shape, or form. It's just, you know, what I came up with in my head when I made this list. Okay, so the first thing on this list is the Autumn Doodle hat. Now, if you've been following me for a little bit, I made the Autumn Doodle cowl just like a month ago. I finished it at the very end of November, and this is a recent pattern set that came out, and I had so much fun. This was my first really big color work project, and I have some yarn left over, so I wanted to use that to make the Autumn Doodle hat. It should be a much smaller and quicker project to make, and I think that is something to remember when you are making goals like a Make 9 list. Is if you put all blankets or all sweaters on that list, yeah, that might be something that you love and that you want to do, but also it's really nice to have a variety so that if you are feeling burnt out of sweaters, that you can still have something you look forward to making that's a smaller, quicker project, like a hat. Or I have a pair of socks on my list as well. So I've got that hat on there, and I'll be using some stash yarn for it. So I originally, for my cowl, used Knit Picks City Tweed in Tarantella is the color, and then I also used Swish DK, another Knit Picks yarn, in the colors Amethyst Heather, Garnet Heather, and Squirrel Heather. So I have all of those colors still available to me, so I'm going to use them in this colorwork hat. Probably be making it towards the end of summer, early fall, so that I can wear this set and have a matching set. I'm super excited about having that project. I forgot to say that the Autumn Doodle hat is by Jamie Lomax of Pacific Knit Co. The second item on my Make 9 list for 2022 is the Find Your Fade shawl by Andrea Mowry of Drea Renee Knits. So this shawl, beautiful, beautiful design, and I've seen so many different versions. It's super flexible in how many or how few colors you want to do. I've seen people use advent skeins for it, so it's beautiful in lots and lots of colors. I've seen other people create their own smaller fade sets. I decided to do a fade set with some Sorella yarn from her Fall Tonals collection. I saw this release and I knew that these colors would go so beautifully together, and I really wanted to do it, and so I had a gift card and I jumped and I got some, and so this is going to be a project for me soon. This is my fade. So these are all from the fall tonal collection, and I'm not sure if she ever re-releases the colors or not, but I'll tell you what colors I have. Starting from this side, I have ceramic, I have cashmere, I have studio, and I have videri. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but yeah. So this is my fade that I'm going to do for the Find Your Fade shawl, and I'm so excited. This color palette is just so warm and yummy and like a little bit pinky purpley, like it's everything that I love in a color palette right now. And so I think this would be a beautiful project to work on in January or February when the weather is really crummy and I just need a nice, warm, cozy pick-me-up. So I'm looking forward to starting and casting this pattern off pretty soon. The next project on my Make 9 list is actually the Love Note by Tin Can Knit. If you have been following me, you may have seen that I recently made the Love Note for my daughter Georgia, and it was a super quick knit. I think I made the sweater in like 2 or 3 days. Super fun, and it is a great way to use up some stash, especially for the smaller sizes. You use a very large gauge needle for a combined weight of DK weight yarn, so it works up pretty fast. It's got this beautiful lace work that is pretty simple to do if you're paying attention, that is. For my daughters, I had to rework it a few times because I was not paying attention. But yeah, so it's just got lace along the yoke, and then it's just straight stockinette for the rest of the body and the sleeves. So it works up pretty fast, and I really wanted to make myself this sweater, but one, I didn't have the time. I had a lot of other things going on this past month or two. And I wanted to test out the pattern. Since this pattern comes in sizes from 0 to 6 months all the way up through, I think, 5X, it is a huge size range. You can really make this sweater for anybody, which is really, really cool. So I decided to get the pattern, and I made the sweater for my daughter to kind of trial it out, test out the lace, see how I liked it, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to making a version for myself as well. The yarn I have already, it's from Knit Picks. Knit Picks has really been my go-to for more affordable but nice quality yarns. So I will be holding these two yarns double. I've got a Loft, which is their like mohair base, their lace weight. It's in the color Iceberg, but it's definitely got like a minty green vibe. And then a Palette, which is their fingering weight, in the color Sagebrush. And the color is a really good color match. So I'm super excited to make a love knit in this color. So that'll be something I cast on probably early January because I'm super excited about this. So once I get some other things out of the way, this will be one of the first things I make since I already have the yarn for it. I'm really excited. So the next pattern on my Make 9 list is another knit pattern. Surprise, surprise. They're all knit patterns on this top Make 9 list. This is the Cottagecore Crop by Kate Garden of Mezzo Makes. Super cute, fun, and flirty design. It only uses, for my size, 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn, so it is a really good way to make myself a top that doesn't use very much yarn. Probably I will use every last scrap of that yarn to make sure that it is long enough for me, because I like a cropped fit, but not super duper cropped, because I don't like a gap between my pants and my shirt. But it's this beautiful like flowy sleeves, flowy, almost like a peplum type frill at the bottom. It's got buttons and a v-neck, which for me is really flattering on my body, having the v-neck. I'm really looking forward to making this, and it'll be a little bit different of a construction than I have made in the past with the knit garments I've made already. So I'm really looking forward to that. I have the yarn coming in the mail. It's from Teeny Button, and it is her Wednesday in a Cafe colorway, Taylor Swift reference, and it's this warm, creamy, peachy brown with like little like lavender specks. It's beautiful yarn, and I'm really excited. I just got a shipping notification, so it should be here later this week, but I needed to film this video, so you'll have to just watch one of my podcasts to see that yarn in person when it comes in the mail and when I work it up. So it'll be fun to have a nice warm top. Living in California, I want to make all the sweaters, but I really can't wear all the sweaters, and so I need to find more knit garments that are lightweight, and so I'm looking forward to making this one. Alright, so the next pattern I have is called the Campsite Waffle Cardigan by Alexandra Tavel. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She is better known as Two of Wands. She has a lot of knit and crochet patterns, and I bought this pattern in her fall pattern bundle, and it is beautiful. Like, I love the squishy waffle knit texture. This just looks like the perfect everyday cardigan that has a little bit of something extra with the texture, and it just looks so warm and cozy, and I'm so excited to make this. Probably will wait until the fall. I don't know what yarn I'll use for it yet, but yeah, it's really beautiful and really cozy, and it's a little bit oversized but not super oversized, so with my more petite frame it won't totally like swallow me up, but it'll look cool, comfy, casual is the hope. So I'm looking forward to having that. That'll be a later on in the year project, I'm sure, because I still don't know what yarn I'm going to use for that, but it's a pretty size inclusive pattern from extra small to 4XL. So I guess this section of my Make 9 list is all about the sweaters and garments. I like have the very beginning of my list is small projects, the very end is a small project, the middle is all big garments, because that's really what I'm interested in making right now. I tried to diversify my list, but I can only do that so much. So the next sweater on my list is one I've been eyeing for a while. It's called Oat by This Bird Knits, and it's this beautiful, it's DK weight and mohair held double, and so it's nice squishy soft texture. It looks like it'll be a pretty quick knit, but it's a 3/4 length sleeve, which I love. It's a pretty simple sweater, but it has this beautiful like lace cascading detail on the sleeves, which I really love. It is so beautiful and feminine and soft, and so I'm really looking forward to having that. I was hoping to make some kind of a sweater that was in like an oatmeal-y or like a creamy color, and then I saw this sweater and that's what her sample is made out of, so I might just try to copy like the coloring that she used because I think it looks great, but I'm not sure. I think this would be a great choice to make for a sweater quantity of some really nice hand-dyed yarn if I can find a shade that I really like. But if not, I'm sure I can find something that is more affordable that will also be beautiful. Okay, so this is my last sweater pattern on my Make 9 list, and this sweater is one that I had in my favorites on Ravelry for a while, but I didn't necessarily fall in love with it until I was just looking last night and trying to finalize this list of mine. And this is the Terrazzo sweater by Petite Knit, and oh my goodness, it is beautiful. And it really utilizes holding a multicolored mohair Asuri alpaca with another yarn. It says she holds sport with the lace, so I'll have to kind of see my gauge and stuff, what I like, if I can do fingering lace or fingering sport or DK. I'm not quite sure. It totally depends on gauge and how my fabric turns out and how I like it. But it's got this beautiful like multicolored look. I think it'll be beautiful. A really beautiful way to showcase some special mohair, because I don't want to have that coloring disappear with like a textured stitch, and I also don't want the textured stitches on a sweater to disappear behind like the fuzzy of a mohair that is like multicolored and has lots going on. So I think this is the perfect sweater to showcase a special yarn in a multicolored way, and it looks really cozy and nice. I have mohair that I do want to showcase, and so I was looking for a sweater, and I think that this will be the best fit for the yarn I have. So this yarn I bought recently with a gift card at my local yarn store. It is Madeline Tosh Impression yarn, and it is in the colorway New Moon. So many fun colors. So it's lots of like mauve and brown, teal and blue and purple even. So many beautiful colors. I'm so excited to see how this works out. I think I'm going to do like a mauve color as like the background. I have found this color palette. It's like their icy. The color's called Ice Lily. My daughter took the wrapper off because she is a little yarn monster. But this is called Ice Lily, and I think this will be a really good like color fit with the mauve in it that I was hoping to get. I'm going to swatch it up just to make sure that I really like it, but I think this is my plan for the Terrazzo sweater, depending on how gauge works. Like, I didn't see that it was a sport weight held with the lace, so I'm going to test out my gauge and see if I can do it with this, and if not, I'll have to find something else. But maybe I'll just be okay with whatever gauge I get using this yarn. I don't know. We shall see. But yeah, I already have a sweater's quantity of this mohair. I just need to find the yarn to hold with it. And so if this is the one, I will get more of this yarn. I think this is really beautiful, and I'm really excited to see how the colors play out when they are worked up. Okay, last garment of my top Make 9 list. So this one is a little bit different. It is a skirt pattern. It is the Peekaboo Maxi skirt by Chantel Miyagishima. This skirt is so beautiful. I love the design. It's super simple and classic looking with the like eyelet lace detail on the bottom to add a little bit more interest. I don't think I would make it quite as long as like a midi length, probably just a knee length skirt. I do need more skirts in my wardrobe. I do go to church every week, and I'm bored with what I've got. So I would really like to do something different, and it would be so fun to be able to knit my own skirt. I also have in mind a crochet design I want to do, and I think the more knitting and crocheting practice I get working on skirts, then the better this design that's in my brain will be able to come out into an actual pattern in the future. So a little bit of research, but mostly just for the enjoyment. I would love to have my own knit skirt. I'm not sure what yarn I will use. It says it's a DK weight, and so lots of options available. I would definitely want to choose something that was pretty neutral so that it would go with a lot of things. I could get my most wear out of it. And then last but not least, I decided I've loved working on socks. I need to throw a pair of socks on my Make 9 list for 2022 because I love making socks so much. It was really hard to decide on a pattern since there are many, many patterns that I want to make and that I have favorited already or bookmarked on my Instagram or whatnot. But the pattern I decided to put on my list is one that I have already purchased, so might as well make it. But it is called the July Socks by Laura Moorats of Laurel Knits. And I love how beautiful and feminine and soft these socks look. The lace detailing is just so interesting and beautiful, and it just really captured my attention and looked like something I really wanted to see what I could do. It's been really fascinating to start working in some lace detailing in my recent knitting patterns I've tried out, and so I would love to keep working on doing lace because I think that it is a beautiful design element. And as you can probably tell from a lot of the things on my Make 9 list, that I'm really enjoying the more feminine, more dainty, more soft, more like elegant, more classic style look. And so that's probably why I'm leaning more into the knitting than the crochet right now, is because it fits in with my aesthetic more, or at least the patterns I am finding are fitting in with my aesthetic more if they are knit. So that's my Make 9 list. I have lots of different plans, mostly garments, but a few other things thrown in there to have kind of a balance. But I'm sure that I will make more than 9 things this next year. So I have a list of honorable mentions that I will just go through really quickly and share some other things that you may see in 2022 from me. And again, disclaimer about my Make 9 list, and this is more for myself because I'm a completionist, I'm a perfectionist. I probably will not finish all 9 of these things. I probably will waffle about some of the decisions I've made, and in 3 months I may decide that I really don't want to make a certain thing because I'm just not in the mood for it, and that is totally okay. That is totally fine. So I'm just doing this list for fun as a way to kind of set some goals and to make plans for this next year, but also understanding that my mood and my plans and my desires for making will definitely change and evolve over this next year, and that is fine. So I do like having other things kind of in my queue or on my lists, so that if I am not feeling inspired by what is on my Make 9 list, I can make some other things. So I thought I would also share with you some other things that are honorary mentions to my Make 9 list that you may probably see this next year. So I'll run through these pretty quickly. So let's see. Fable by Two Little Plums, or Alicia Plummer. I've recently found her stuff, and I haven't made any of her designs, but I really love a lot of her patterns. There are a lot that I would really like to make, but I think Fable is the first and foremost one that I would make. I don't have the yarn for it yet, which is really the only reason it's not on my Make 9 list right now, and so that is a likely one that will go on my list. Or maybe like once I cross one thing off the list, once I've completed it, then I will throw this on. I'm not sure. But it is a classic v-neck t-shirt with some really cool edging detail, especially along the hem. And so I thought that would be really fun. And it's totally something that I would wear all the time. I also have a couple more Petite knit patterns. The Sunday sweater, which has this beautiful like ribbed yoke texture that kind of fans out from the neck down the yoke. It looks really soft and cozy, but also it looks fairly simple, but it looks also like it's an elevated look. I also really like the balloon cardigan. I'm all about balloon sleeves right now, and you can't have too many cardigans. I honestly feel like I need more cardigans, but I'm a little bit intimidated to knit a cardigan, honestly. I'm more comfortable knitting in the round than knitting flat. I'm sure that my purls and my knits, the tension would be very different. So I'm a little nervous about knitting flat or making a cardigan, so I have not put that on my Make 9, but this is another one that if I get the yarn for this, I'm totally casting this on in 2022 because I love the balloon sleeves. It is a very classic looking sweater, also nice and cozy, so that is definitely one I would be interested in making soon. I have the Wool and Honey sweater by Drea, Renee Knits, Andrea Mowry, and this is a beautiful design. I think it's made with slip stitches, but the texture is just really stunning to look at. And I love hearing Andrea Mowry talk about her design and how she's still really proud of that she came up with that design, and it's just so beautiful. Definitely one that I would want to make, again, if I have the right yarn for it. I'm trying to be more intentional about the yarn I bring into my life, and I've brought in lots of singular skeins for socks, but I don't know if I feel like I want to get another sweater's quantity of yarn yet. Maybe soon, but holding off on some sweater quantities that I don't have already. And then Knitatude, Chantal Miyagishima is also coming out with a pair of Cable Crush Joggers in January. So I love joggers. I love loungewear. Super comfy, and it'd be so fun to knit my own. It has this really cute like cabling detail on the pockets that is not super in your face, but it's just like a nice little extra detail. And if you are interested in her Cable Crush hoodie, then the joggers would be a great companion to that hoodie to make an entire lounge set. I'm not interested in that hoodie. It's just a little bit too much for me. I want something a little bit more muted, especially for loungewear, but the joggers for sure are something I'm interested in. Wow, okay, we are going through so much stuff here. Now I have a couple crochet patterns actually that made my honorable mentions, so that is pretty exciting. So it is not unlikely that you'll see these pop up this next year, though they're not on like my top list of things I want to make. So that Captiva crop by Laura Murphy. This pattern took the crochet world by storm last year. It has a really interesting and fun texture. The only reason I haven't made it yet is because it's kind of a holey texture, and I didn't really want to have to layer anything with it in order to make it because of the warm weather and having a daughter that was breastfeeding. Now that we are weaning, I feel more comfortable having to, wear like a tank top or a t-shirt underneath a knit or crocheted garment, and so I'm more interested in doing the Captiva crop. I may still modify it to make it less holey so that maybe I don't have to wear anything underneath it, because that is still always a plus, but it's not as necessary. But yeah, I really love this texture and the movement of the stitches and texture. It really is beautiful, and I think that I would only need 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn, and so it'd be easy to use up some of my stash for that. And then the Juniper Cowl by Toni Lipsy. Toni's amazing. She's the Tunisian queen. She just came out with a book that I'm really excited to dive into. I haven't had a chance to look and see what patterns I want to make from there, but she also came out with an arboreal collection, and the Juniper Cowl is a perfect way to use up some scraps and do like a special fade, puff stitches. So beautiful. It's a beautiful way to showcase some hand-dyed yarn, the puff stitches. So that is something I really do want to make. Again, living in California, I really don't need very many cowls, and I just made one. So hopefully by this time next year, we will be living somewhere else, and I honestly hope it's somewhere colder so I can get more use out of my knits. The last couple things that I definitely wanted to share are a couple pairs of socks. The Curio socks by Andrea Mowry of Drea Renee Knits. This is a new sock pattern she just came out with for Thanksgiving Day long weekend in the United States, and it's this really cool. You use 2 different colors, and if you use one that is a fading or gradient yarn, then it looks really, really cool as you see it work up. So like it's a fairly basic texture, but also not just straight vanilla knitting, and this looked like a really fun way to use up like a spin cycle skein or some other kind of really special yarn. And then the Cornicette socks by Laura Penrose. I have had this pattern since she released it because I was so excited to see her talk about it on her podcast, and I haven't made it yet. It's all of her colorwork socks, and it's this really cool like mosaic geometric patterning on the sock, and I have a couple skeins of sock yarn that I would love to work together in this sock, and I just haven't gotten around to it because there's so many other things that I've wanted to make, and it's a lot easier to start some vanilla socks than to start an all over colorwork sock pattern. So I haven't gotten to these yet, but I would like to make them sometime in 2022 if I get around to it. And that's like not even half of the list of all the different things that I have been considering making for 2022. There's so many things on my Make 9 list and beyond. I can't knit and crochet fast enough to make everything that is inspiring me, and I know that can be a little bit overwhelming or daunting, but also it's exciting that there are so many things that so many wonderful creative people have come up with and have shared with the world that are also inspiring me. So that's been really cool, and I'm really excited to see how 2022 works out. It'd be really cool if I got through all of my Make 9. Like I said earlier, if it doesn't happen, it's totally okay, even if I kind of beat myself up over it. But I have lots of really cool patterns and plans in mind for 2022, as well as some other things that are not on my Make 9 list, but are honorable mentions that I would also really enjoy getting to if I get a chance to in this next year. Are you making a Make 9 list for 2022? Let me know down below what things you're interested in making, whether it's knit or crochet or some other craft. I think it would be so cool if you can share. I would love some more ideas. I can always be adding to my list of things to make eventually, even if it's not on my Make 9 list for 2022. And if you made a Make 9 list for 2021, I would love to hear how it went, what kind of projects you made, what kind of happened, like, did you finish everything? Is there anything you're taking with you into 2022? Is there anything that because you changed or your knitting changed that you decided to take off of your list partway through the year? It's so interesting to see everyone's experience with their making journey, and I would love to have you be a part of my journey and for me to be a part of your journey as well. I think that would be so interesting, and I love building a community here on YouTube, so definitely comment down below and we can chat more. You can also follow me on Instagram at Crochet Creations. I would love to connect with you there on social media and hear more about different projects that you are making. And like I said before, I'm coming out with some more videos about different Make 9 lists. I'm going to do a gifts Make 9 list, mostly for my daughter, and I think a couple things for my husband. He is very knit worthy, but also he doesn't want to be swallowed up in knits. Like, he's more minimal when it comes to clothing items. So I will have a couple things on there for him, but mostly it'll be for my daughter. And then I'm going to make a stash Make 9 list, and a way to make goals and prepare for using up more of my yarn stash. And you can learn more about that in that video when that comes out sometime soon. But if you're looking for any ideas of other projects to make or other ways to use up your yarn, then definitely check me out there. And if you want to be notified of my next videos when they come out, definitely subscribe and hit that bell notification. And if you like this type of content, definitely like this video and comment down below. And if there's any other type of content you would love to see from me, definitely let me know as well, because I would love to, like I said, connect with you and build more of a community here and get a chance to make the kind of content that you are interested in seeing. So yeah, I'm excited about 2022 and everything that I'll end up making. I have lots of exciting plans, but also I know that lots more will come my way as time goes on. And I hope the same is for you and that you get lots of time to do the things that you love. So I will see you in the new year. Happy making. Bye.